No one buys that Kamala Harris has the capability to do that job. And polls like that, I think, are absolutely ridiculous. I get slipped beverage napkins every time I get on an airplane saying we can't wait to vote for Trump, go Trump, Trump 2024, or people just coming up to me.
We just have to address the elephant in the room. We're getting a lot of texts from women about Miller and his appearances and his appearance.
As we have said so often on this show, the closer we get to Election Day, the more deranged Donald Trump becomes. And that is because he is not running for president. He is running to escape accountability. And so his fears of finally being held accountable for his crimes continue to build, and it makes him lose it even more and more. And it's so extreme at this point for Donald Trump that even his propaganda outlets, yes, even Fox, sometimes can't defend Donald Trump. And Donald Trump cannot stand that. He cannot stand that they are not completely loyal to him 100% of the time, as we have seen before. Even a Democratic appearance on Fox leads Donald Trump to call them the enemy. And that is exactly what happened today. Not with the Democrat appearing on Fox, but a Fox host calling out Donald Trump's lies, shutting him down. And it led him to absolutely spiral in the most hilarious way. We love to see it, and we are going to check it out. But before we do, if I could quick ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already, to hit that subscribe button and join the community that we are building on this channel. It really goes a long way now. Let's get into this clip of a Fox host shutting down and calling out Donald Trump and his legal aid. I don't even know if she's his lawyer anymore, but Alan O.B.
polling. And one of the questions that is being asked today by Mark Thiessen of the Washington Post has to do with Nikki Haley, who we're going to talk to in a minute. So I wanted to get your thoughts on this. Mark Thiessen writes this: Trump should deploy her to key battleground states for the next 4 weeks to convince the reluctant but persuadable 18% of the electorate to cast their ballots for him. Failure to do so would be sheer political malpractice. It could very well cost him the presidency. That's Mark Thiessen writing a column for the Washington Post. What's your reaction to that? Is that going to happen, first of all?
I'm not going to speak to what his plan is, but WAPO is pretty rich to be giving President Trump advice.
Well, that's Mark Thiessen, who's a contributor here at Fox.
Okay, but yeah. Well, all I can tell you is this. We are all for anybody who's trying to save America. And Nikki Haley, if she's on that camp today and she's willing to come out and help save America, God bless, let's go. Because we are in a state of crisis. We have seen people come out, actors, actresses, that know that it'll hurt their career and support Donald Trump. We are in a state of crisis.
She said she was standing by and happy to help.
Love that.
Was a few weeks ago.
Love that.
But you don't know if there's any plan at this point.
I do not know of any plan at this point.
All right. Alina.
I love that clip for so many reasons. The first being that it opens up with the polling showing VP Harris beating Donald Trump by an increasingly wider margin, but then we cut to Alina Hall, who is trying to say that Donald Trump doesn't need surrogates like Nikki Haley out on the campaign trail for him. Now, I am no fan of Nikki Haley for obvious reasons, but it is true that she would be a helpful surrogate for Donald Trump, but it is his own anger with Nikki Haley. It is his own grievance keeping him from allowing her to do so. And I also think that they have a pretty combative relationship, but it's pretty funny that the Fox host was calling out just really the poor campaign strategy of Donald Trump, and Alina Abba love to see. It keep on failing at campaigning, keep making the wrong choices, we will allow you to shoot yourself in the foot. And another one of those has been the lines that Donald Trump is perpetuating about hurricane relief, about the work that Vice President Harris and, of course, President Biden are doing to help communities affected by Hurricane Helen. And that is where we saw Alina ABA get fact-checked in a really hilarious way. Let's check it out.
That is a
What
fact.
is that campaign effort like in Western North Carolina?
Well, we had people bringing in, I'm sure you saw Lara Trump took a team out there on the ground with the campaign, with the RNC, and she did a tremendous job. You know, she's from North Carolina,
right.
So that's home for her. And Western North Carolina got hit really hard. And like you said, these are real people with real issues. They don't need a $750 handout for a press headline. They need help. They need water. There are still people missing. There are babies floating in the water. And we're on podcasts. That's what the Harris team is doing. So I think what Cedric's doing is completely irresponsible.
Where did you see that report? report of a baby floating in the water.
We have absolutely heard there are children floating. There's missing bodies, dead bodies. We know that. There are dead people. We're up to 250.
32.
Yeah, 32. Thank you. So this is the problem. It's not misinformation, it's fact. And to talk about Katrina, well, I'm really glad you're dealing with your trauma from Katrina, but we have problems happening now. We've got to deal with things now. And I think Governor DeSantis is doing exactly what you should be doing. But frankly, that should be coming from FEMA, like you said. That should be coming from the top. And what he's doing is a great example for the country. What President Trump did, getting in there, using the money, using his resources to give them things they need. Electricity, power, that's the things they need. There are children there missing. It's just a fact.
I mean, we need to learn a lot more about that. We talked to a woman whose mother was missing yesterday.
Right.
They just can't stop themselves from lying, talking about pictures of floating children. Those, one, don't exist. And two, if they do their AI, which just goes to show how much is going up here or really not going up on up there. Alina, ABA, and really the rest of the Trump campaign as they continue to push these lies. But of course, Donald Trump didn't take too kindly to that fact checking. And so he took the Truth Social and decided to post this. Trump wrote on Truth Social, "The problem with Fox News is that every time they put on someone who is positive and touting all of the good things I have done for the country, they always feel it necessary to follow up with a really negative voice. Often people who are storytellers and willing to outright lie. The daytime anchors are no match for these lunatics, and they get away with absolute murder. The net result is nothingness." So what's the purpose in watching? So Donald Trump clearly upset with sometimes the truth being spoken on Fox. So we know it's not often. Usually it is just reserved for a couple of minutes of Jessica Tarlow on the FO. But that's the only time any truth actually happens on Fox. But again, Donald Trump demands they be his propaganda outlet all of the time. And that is exactly what happened and what we saw. And you're going to want to check this out. Give it a good hate watch between Jesse Waters and Stephen Miller. One of the grossest clips I've seen on Fox in a while. So let's just take a look.
We just have to address the elephant in the room. We're getting a lot of texts from women about Miller and his appearances and his appearance. Our audience at primetime believes you're some sort of sexual matador. What do you have to say for yourself?
Well, let me give advice to any young man that's out there. I'm married now, I have children, but I wasn't married that long ago. I was single, I was in the market. If you're a young man, it's very important in election season, who's looking to impress ladies, to be the alpha, to be attractive. The best thing you can do is to wear your Trump support on your sleeve. Show that you are a real man. Show that you are not a beta, right? Be a proud and loud Trump supporter, and your dating life will be fantastic.
I cannot wait to see the text tonight.
Does that just make your skin crawl? These are two of the strangest guys in the world. All they want to talk about is Trump being such a strong, masculine man when he is anything but that he is just insecure and a child. But so gross from Stephen Miller and Jesse Waters is it just makes me feel so uncomfortable to even have to hear that. And what makes me really even more uncomfortable sometimes is having to hear from Lara Trump, unfortunately, who appeared on Fox, like I said. Fox trying to balance out the coverage, doing a tiny little bit of truth in the beginning of the day, lots of lying towards the end, and that's exactly what we saw from Lara Trump right here.
No one buys that Kamala Harris has the capability to do that job. And polls like that, I think, are absolutely ridiculous. I get slipped beverage napkins every time I get on an airplane saying, we can't wait to vote for Trump, go Trump, Trump 2024, or people just coming up to me these days, Laura, everywhere I go, saying how excited they are to get out and vote early when you go vote for Donald Trump.
Am I the only one who notices a trend with all the Trumps? They always say that people approach them at the airport or on planes, and that's when they're told that they have all of this support. Just notice that for the future, it's always at the airport. Oh, people are coming up to meet the airport. People say this on a plane, writing notes on napkins and then handing that. That sounds made up to me. I'm going to keep it 100% real with you. All that is the most BS thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Why can't they just say, like, someone on the street? It's always the airport. It's a little observation there, but someone who didn't make a tiny observation, but instead decided to tell a gigantic lie, as always they do, as Laura Ingraham in this ridiculous clip right here.
The government neglect and incompetence that we've witnessed over the past few weeks is a foreshadowing of things to come if Kamala gets to sit in the Oval Office. FEMA's stacked with woke radicals, but at the end of the day, they take orders from the president. And we'll all know that Kamala will solidify equity as the core mission in every government agency. But DEI is not just a loony left-wing idea we mock. It happens on college campuses. It actually threatens the safety and security of our people. And things will only get worse until it's rooted out in every societal institution, and certainly in every governmental institution.
Okay, let me try to get this straight. We're not seeing more powerful and destructive hurricanes because of climate change. No, Fox doesn't believe that it's because of DE. What poter? What point are we at? I know it's a propaganda outlet, we call them out all the time, but they're just getting more and more deranged. They're throwing anything at the wall to see if it sticks, because they know Donald Trump is so behind in this race, and they're just trying out any new message, seeing if something works. They don't have a lot of time left. They're just getting more deranged. Like I say, the closer we get to Election Day, the closer to the pinnacle of crazy they get. It is at a point of just absolute absurdity for Fox. I'm not shocked. Can't say I'm shocked. Certainly disturbed. But we're going to continue to call him out every single day on this show. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video, and if you're stuck around at the end, drop a blue heart in the comments, or just say, "I." And until next time, I'll see you soon.